Franz Kline, known for his bold, gestural abstractions, rarely engaged in direct representation, yet Hudson Street on a Sunday afternoon suggests an evocative interplay between structure and movement. In this work, one might expect his characteristic monochromatic palette, broad, muscular strokes of black against a stark white background, conveying the urban dynamism of New York. The title itself evokes a moment of relative stillness in the city's ceaseless energy, a contrast that Kline could manifest through the tension between heavy, architectural forms and the negative space that breathes between them. Rather than a crisp realism depiction, Kline's abstraction distills the feeling of Hudson Street, with its tightly packed buildings, intersecting lines of streets, elevated viewpoint, and hint of a cloudy day. His brushwork, often likened to calligraphy, captures the essence of one corner of the city's landscape, stripped to its raw, expressive core. His use of color in the composition reinforces his signature interplay of power and void. Ultimately, Hudson Street on a Sunday afternoon exemplifies Kline's ability to transform the everyday into something monumental, urging the viewer to see the city not as a literal place, but as a dynamic psychological space, at once imposing and poetic. Franz Kline's Untitled Tree presents an intriguing paradox. How does an artist known for non-representational abstraction approach something as inherently organic as a tree? Given Kline's signature aesthetic, bold gestural brushstrokes, a stark black and white palette, and an emphasis on dynamic structure, this work does not simply depict a tree in a traditional sense. Instead, it captures the essence of a tree, its raw energy, vertical thrust, and the interplay between strength and movement. Rather than delicate branches or leafy foliage, Kline renders the tree's presence through aggressive, slashing black marks that evoke the solidity of a trunk and the reaching tension of limbs. The composition suggests a forceful contrast between stability and fragmentation, a motif common in his work, where rigid architectural forms are disrupted by expressive spontaneity. His use of color provides a subtle tonal contrast, reinforcing the tree's vitality or decay. At its core, Untitled Tree is not about depicting nature, but rather channeling its essence into an abstracted force, turning a tree into a symbol of resilience, movement, and primal energy. In this way, Kline transforms something familiar into something visceral, inviting the viewer to feel rather than see the subject.